The annual World Convention is hosted by the ACA World Service Organization, and it was made possible by the dedication and energy of ACA members from around the world giving service. The theme was connections. The following recording is one of the 18 presentations made by and for members of Adult Children of Alcoholics Fellowship at the 8th Annual ACA World Convention held virtually on November 17 and 18, 2023. Please visit the adultchildren.org website for more information about ACA, for worldwide ACA meeting listings, to make a 7th tradition contribution, or to volunteer for service. We hope you enjoy the following presentation from the 8th Annual World Convention.
Alaska and Kachi are our next presenters, and I would like to introduce them to you. Alaska resisted her therapist's recommendation to check out ACA because her parents weren't alcoholic. She did not believe she experienced trauma in childhood. By risking coming out of isolation, acknowledging her normalized trauma responses, and then slowly releasing dysfunctional behaviors with the appreciation and validation from fellow travelers, Alaska is learning to love herself and experience independent connection, unconditional love. Kachi returned to ACA when she was 6 years clean and sober, and she is confident that working the ACA program can prevent addiction relapse. She believes that knowing the truth about her childhood can set her free to be a better human being and of greater service to humanity. Kachi believes in the power of community and is grateful that the group is teaching her how to honor and love herself and others, and that is why she keeps coming back. Please help me welcome our presenters, Alaska and Kachi. Over to you.
All right. Hello, my name is Alaska. I'm Adult Children. I don't know where Kachi is, but you could introduce yourself.
Here I am. Hi, I'm Kachi, and I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
All right, so I'm just going to bring up the slides. There we go. Sorry, my computer's like really slow. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the workshop, Internalized Racism and the 6 Essential Recovery Tasks from the ACA Schematic. Did I stop screen sharing? I don't know why that happened.
It actually froze there for a minute, Alaska.
Yeah. Probably restart. Here we are. All right. Internalized Racism and the 6 Essential Recovery Tasks from the ACA Schematic. And so I'm just going to go over our agenda today. Here we go. So our agenda is we're going to introduce workshop presenters. I guess we just did that. Tech hosts, do a workshop description, and then go over this part of, basically we're going to do these things. We're going to go through the 6 essential tasks. Then we'll talk about sharing process, give some self-soothing tools, and then we're going to share in breakout rooms for the last 30 minutes of the workshop. And we are going to request that people have their cameras on during the sharing time. And we'll talk more about that once we get to it. And then we come back together and we close. All right. So Kachi.
Hello again, everyone. In this loving space, we will show how the 6 essential recovery tasks from the ACA Schematic can help us recover and embrace the hidden and dissociated parts of the fragmented self. By identifying introjects, which are behaviors and beliefs of others that have been pounded in and swallowed whole, we can begin to distinguish the racially biased or false beliefs we've adopted or internalized into our own beliefs about ourselves or others that appear to be like us. During the workshop, we will utilize breakout rooms for sharing and use sharing practice to hold space and be present. We will request participants to have their cameras on in the breakout rooms during the sharing.
Right, thank you. And yes, I forgot to introduce our tech hosts. Our tech hosts today are Jamie and Brad. Thank you for your service, Jamie and Brad. And then let's see. All right, so workshop description. And next is a little bit about internalized racism. So this is my definition of internalized racism, being the introjects that are internalized, and introjects are the behaviors and beliefs of others that have been pounded in and swallowed whole. And this phrasing is directly from the ACA schematic, which you'll see later on. So it's the internalized, racially biased or false beliefs we've adopted or internalized into our own beliefs about ourselves or others that appear to be like us. So it's not just a BIPOC thing. I believe that everybody, we live in a racialized society, and so everybody experiences internalization of beliefs that others have kind of implanted into us, and that we carry into our own lives. All right. So, all right. We're just gonna get right into the actually, no, I think I needed to say some more about internalized racism within the context of ACA recovery. So I don't have parents who have any active addictions. And when I trace back my dysfunctional behaviors to my parents' dysfunctional behaviors, most of their dysfunctional behaviors did come from experiences that they had as children that were largely around racism. They were both Japanese Americans that their families went through the internment, and that experience impacted their lives immensely, and especially because my mother was born during the internment, and my father was about 2 years old or something like that. So it affected their entire childhoods. And the way that they had to survive was to adopt certain behaviors and beliefs, and they passed those on to me. All right, so that is what started my own looking into my internalized racism. And the 6 essential recovery tasks have been incredibly helpful in doing that. All right, so for this section, we're going to ask for volunteers to read the recovery task, and so that will be this portion up here. And so Beth.
All right, thanks everybody. Number 6 essential recovery tasks. Number 1, recognition. This task centers around our recognition of dysfunction, including physical responses, cognitive problems, and interpersonal difficulties in social situations and with significant others. The fellow traveler's task is to encourage this vital recognition of the signs of distress in a way that builds trust and creates the sense of unity needed to continue in the recovery process. Did you want me to keep going?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, so underneath the task, there are some bullet points which kind of go into a little bit further explanation of the task. Kachi and I are only going to read the last 2 bullet points because the last 2 bullet points are the ones that we've added just for this workshop. And so I will read, and I will post a link to this a PDF that has each of the 6 essential recovery tasks with these bullet points. I'll post that in just a moment. So let's see, internalized racism in relation to this particular task. Recognizing that I've mislabeled my trauma responses as my personality so that my shame of not being white could remain hidden. And then the other is, we recognize and admit that internalized racist ideas learned from outside people and systems have caused psychological, well, I don't know what that is, psychological, emotional, and mental responses that inhibit our recovery process. That's really weird. All right. Sorry about that. Hachi.
Right. So would someone, I see Anne's hand is up. I hope I'm going in correct order. You want to read number 2?
Hi, Anne in Ireland. Recollection. This task involves uncovering and embracing the hidden, dissociated parts of the self. Because of traumatic conditioning, these hidden parts of ourselves perceive, evaluate, and respond automatically as independent operating systems. Each system holds a specific set of memories, beliefs, and related habits that maintain dissociation. The fellow traveler's task is to provide assurance that recovery is possible and the return of memories and sensation will not be self-destructive.
Thank you, Anne. And I'll read the last 2 points. We recollect and recognize internalized racist ideas about ourselves and others that we have learned in childhood and throughout our lives. Internalized racism, recognizing my dysfunctional behaviors as trauma responses led to recollecting the shamed and abandoned inner child that was driving the teenager's reactivity.
All right. So I posted a link into the chat to download the 6 essential recovery tasks and the bullet points. All right. So could I have a volunteer to read disobedience? And Jeff. D.
My name's Jeff. I'm an adult child. 3rd task is disobedience. The basic belief in a traumatizing family is that the practice and support of destructive behavior by adults should be tolerated and accepted without protest by the children. Children are threatened, punished, and coerced into keeping the adults' behavior secret. They also incorporate the adults' dissociative and destructive patterns into their own being. Disobedience includes breaking these habits of avoidance and denial and relinquishing our beliefs about maintaining destructive behavior. This may require detoxification from addiction to substances and the deconditioning of habitual body tension and cognitive hypervigilance. The main subtask is to disobey irrational authority by challenging the belief that we need to continue these behaviors. Pass.
All right, thank you. And I will read the last two. So, internalized racism. We disobey by coming out of isolation, believing that there's something wrong with us and that we're alone, and disobeying old beliefs and gaining self-acceptance through connection instead of rigid self-reliance. And we question and reject the internalized racist ideas and beliefs by coming out of denial. Wait, that's the same thing. Okay, believing there's something wrong with us, and by replacing our survival defense beliefs and behaviors by working the steps and reparenting ourselves with the help of our ACA support group. All right. All right. Kachi?
Jen, can you please read retaliation? Thank you.
Sure. Jen, recovering adult child. Retaliation. The motivating force being inhibited is a talionic response, a direct eye for an eye retaliation for abuse. This instinctive rage toward people who have caused us harm has been forcefully inhibited and is often directed back towards the self or displaced onto others. Unblocking this energy and safely expressing the talionic response opens us up to feel other inhibited emotions and accelerates the process of mourning and grief. The primary subtask is learning to discriminate hostile interjects that have been pounded in and swallowed whole from the people who first cause us to live in fear, and to stop displacing rage onto symbolic stand-ins in the present. The fellow traveler can support the differentiation process and the appropriate expression of talionic rage, which strengthens reality testing about expected retaliation. Pass.
Thank you, Jen. The last two bullet points. Internalized racism, often expressed by not wanting to be associated with our racial group, by differentiating ourselves, needing to overcompensate, displacing rage from shame onto others that look like us. We release the internalized racist ideas and beliefs about ourselves and others, and practice exploring and expressing our rage in ways that promote self-care and healing.
All right, thank you. 5, separation. And Ari, would you like to read?
Okay. Separation. The task of separation is to distinguish between what has been termed me and not me. This includes recognizing the internalizations and confusing beliefs of people who hurt us, as well as considering the concept of locus of control and the possibility of independent thought and action. And the first two, right?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll read the last two bullet points. Internalized racism, by recognizing our trauma responses and releasing our need to suppress or deny our feelings, we are able to pause before reacting. We are no longer controlled by or need to control others. And we release the internalized racist ideas and beliefs about ourselves and others and begin to practice the process of separation from the false self and begin to explore our authentic self. All right. And Kachi.
Mary B., if you can read number 6, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Independence. This final task centers around completion of reflective grieving, mourning the loss of possibilities, opportunities, and self-actualization, learning to reparent ourselves and mastering developmental stages that may have been missed or poorly negotiated. The fellow traveler can assist in the overall process by encouraging the development, rehearsal, and implementation of effective social skills and self-determined actions that increase self-esteem and self-worth. Most importantly, completion of this task establishes the capacity for genuine intimacy and successful present-directed, goal-oriented living.
Thank you, Mary. We acknowledge the racist ideas and beliefs about ourselves and others and embrace and expand the development of our authentic self. Internalized racism. We gain independence by releasing the fear of feeling shame or abandonment that has kept us frozen in time. We gain independence from what other people say, do or not do, affecting what we think or feel about ourselves. Thank you to all the readers. Thank you again to all the readers. So the sharing process, requesting for cameras to be on, which is something that we have requested during the sharing portion of this workshop, is an intentional practice for building solidarity, balancing personal freedom and belonging to a group, being present in our bodies to listen, to speak, to share, and witness each other's stories provides context for the welcoming of the new and the shedding of the old and of that which is no longer useful. And I guess I'd like to just add here, why this is important and a little bit about my story, because no one talked about these things, right? No one talked about internalized racism in my family, right? But my parents were both Cuban and were displaced from their homes in the late 40s and early 1950s, and looking for a better life here in this country, which I call Turtle Island, also known as the United States. And even though they were extraordinarily light-skinned people and identified as white in their country, they were not white here. And it was very difficult for my mom to find housing. It was very difficult for my mom to find work that was dignified. And so race and class played a major role in the ideas that they thought about themselves, the beliefs they had about themselves, and they passed those ideas on to us. So I just wanted to share that. We believe that leaving our cameras on during the process of, the process of sharing during that part of the workshop is in a way we can't replicate being in person, but we can attempt to try to have that connection where we can see each other and acknowledge and witness our stories, and to practice really learning to be able to do that. For some, I know for me, it wasn't always very comfortable coming into a meeting and sitting and grounding myself. I've been able to learn how to do that with practice. And so we hope that we're able to do that today and be there for each other as we hear and witness each other's stories, and be able to look at each other while we do so and see each other and be present for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Kachi. All right. So this is in preparation of going into the sharing portion of the meeting, because we are asking people to have their cameras on during the sharing portion, to be able to also have some self-care, self-soothing, self-regulating tools if we do happen to become activated by somebody else. And so one of the suggestions that we have is to create a list of affirmations, and you could do that right now. So you have a list of affirmations that you can go to. Know how to mute your device. Figure it out now. So that if you need to mute your device, you can mute your device. Keeping the focus on ourselves in the here and now. One of the things that I've learned about my internalized racism is that when it gets activated, it's because I'm taking something personally that has nothing to do with me. And I know that as an ACA that happens to me a lot. And the more that I am able to really accept and take in that what somebody else does, says, thinks, whatever, really doesn't have any effect on me other than what I allow them to have, that has helped me immensely with being able to be present and not let somebody else derail me. And then finally, the main room will remain open. I will be in the main room, and it'll be just a silent sanctuary. There won't be any sharing, there won't be any talking, but it'll be a place that you can come to if you need to. Also, just let people know that in the next room or whatever, in the other Zoom room, there's a dance party happening. And so if you feel like you need to have a different kind of experience or diversion right now, you could go to the dance party. So let's see. All right. There we go.
Thanks, Alaska. So here are some sharing guidelines to support you and others during the process. Please make sure your cameras are turned on so we can be present with and for each other. Make sure you're muted unless speaking. No crosstalk. To create a safe space to open up and share, please refrain from interrupting, making comments, both positive or negative, and directly referring to a person's share or giving advice. This includes commenting on someone's share in the chat. The main room will remain open as a silent sanctuary during sharing session. We've repeated a couple of these things. So when we go into our, once we finish this portion of the workshop and we're going to go into the rooms, whoever is going to participate at that moment will have their camera on. And if there are those who at that moment do not want to put on their cameras, that's okay. But those who have their cameras on will be put into a breakout room. So before we do that, those who want to participate in that have to have their cameras on at that moment so that we can put you into a breakout room. Yeah, thank you, Alaska.
So thank you for participating in the workshop today. I want to thank the tech hosts again, Brad and Jamie. Thank you very much. Thank you to Adelina and the AWC Planning Committee that put together the entire convention this year, and I know how that feels. So I appreciate all the work that you've done, and the opportunity to be able to present this workshop. And thank you to all of the breakout room moderators. Appreciate your service. And let's see. And then here are the ACA Schematic meetings that are on Zoom. There are also ACA Schematic meetings that are phone meetings. And there are maybe a few other meetings that also may use the 6 essential recovery tasks in the ACA Schematic. But these ones are pretty much solid ACA Schematic meetings. And Kachi, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I would. Thank you. I want to thank Alaska for working together on this and for keeping me up late at night. I want to thank everyone who came and stayed and shared and listened and brought your whole self into this. I want to thank Jamie for being the utmost tech host and a fellow traveler. And I want to thank Brad and Adelina and all those who read today, helped us read. And I'm just really grateful. And I want to thank the collective, right? I want to thank ACA and for those who have come before us, our ancestors, and all those who will come after.
Oh.
All right, thank you. And there you go, Adelina, your 5 minutes. Thanks again, and thank you again, everybody, for showing up and staying and sharing. I'm so honored and grateful for your participation. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alaska.
Thank you.
Everyone put this together. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank
So
Great
the
meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Alaska.
closing.
It's very
Serenity.
people I cannot change.
Change the courage to change the one
One is me.
Cette personne, c'est moi.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank
So we
you,
have a
everyone.
awesome